As we begin to, as we prepare to chant or listen to the chanting of the refuges and the precepts, I invite you to place yourself in this ancient lineage of refuge in Buddha Dharma Sangha, of homage to the awakened ones who have gone before, of homage to those who have kept the Dhamma alive for us. What a precious gift that is. To open the heart and mind with gratitude and inviting what commitment is alive in you to be part of that lineage, to not only as one who receives this, the practice, the fruits of the practice and commitment of those who have gone before, but also as one who continues to pass on in the present and in the future and to the future these precious teachings, in how we live, in how we engage in our lives, in how we respond to those around us. It doesn't, being alive and being a participant and a protector and a one who carries on and carries forth the lineage doesn't necessarily mean explicitly teaching, but it's how we are embodied in our lives. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Buddhang saranang gacchami. Dhammang saranang gacchami. Sanghang saranang gacchami. Dutiyampi Buddhang saranang gacchami. Dutiyampi Dhammang saranang gacchami. Dutiyampi Sanghang saranang gacchami. Tatiyampi Buddhang saranang gacchami. Tatiyampi Dhammang saranang gacchami. Tatiyampi Sanghang saranang gacchami. As we chant or listen to the chanting and contemplate these trainings in peaceful conduct, these trainings in interdependence of life, of realizing our participation and deep interconnection in the web of life, we can pause after each one, and I'm going to give a few moments after each practice to think about, reflect on, contemplate. What does this mean for me in this moment? To refrain from destroying living beings, and also to reflect and contemplate positively. How can I support life? How can I contribute to the thriving of living beings, of this living being perhaps who's in the room with me, or this person who's in my life, or living beings very far away around the world. So just whatever comes into heart, whatever arises in consciousness in a moment is presenting itself to you as wanting to be connected with, known, and reflected upon, and perhaps an intention formed for that being, for that context. Panati pata veramani sikapadam samadhyami. Adina dana veramani sikapadam samadhyami. Kamesu michatara veramani sikapadam samadhyami. Musawada veramani sikapadam samadhyami. Sura Maraya Maja Pamadatana Veramani Sikapadam Samadhyami. Ida Misilam Maja Phala Nyanasa Pachayo Hotu. Sadhu, 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 anumodami. So today in our practice and in the Dharma reflections, we're going to be giving our attention to the fifth precept, which is refraining from intoxicating the mind, refraining from taking substances or engaging in activities that cause heedlessness, carelessness. And so the guiding into the practice that I'm going to offer will we'll be in that framing. So in that, considering that particular focus for practice. So as we begin, let's enter into the body in a way that is mindful, attentive, accepting. However, this body is presenting itself in this moment. Aligning body, heart, and mind. We bring our awareness to the support that the earth gives. And relaxing into that support. Letting the body sink. The inner tensions, the inner holding can let go, trusting the earth to support us. Also bringing an energy, an upward movement of the spine through the crown of the head. And this is an expression of our commitment to begin again, to be present, to remember. And when we find that the spine is kind of drooping or maybe twisting off to one side, we can just gently, kindly bring that upward energy back and awaken heart, mind, be present in the body. And if you're lying down, that relaxing into the support of the earth and that energizing the body in whatever way you can find is also possible. It may be a different kind of experience. The support of the earth is similar, and the aligning of the spine can also be found. Explore that if you like and see how that energy can awaken for you. And gathering the attention in by coming to the breath, bringing attention to the breath, the body, feeling the whole breath, the whole in-breath, the whole out-breath. And letting the breath be a vehicle for connecting mind, heart, and body. Letting the attention have a quality of kindness, letting go of a striving energy, a judgmental energy. Let there be ease and kindness as you gather in attention. Collecting the attention into an embodied presence, sitting on the earth, breathing, alive in this moment. In this practice today, I invite you to notice how the habits of the mind pull you away from this simple presence of being fully alive and open-hearted in this moment. How the mind gets hooked and drawn away into fantasy and thought and narration and judgment and dramas and stories and struggles and self-blame and blaming others, all the manifestations of dukkha, of the spectrum of stress and struggle and unsatisfactoriness and suffering that is summed up in the Pali word dukkha. How do we get drawn into this? And what is the experience of this? What is the experience of the mind hooked the mind drawn away, disconnecting from the aliveness of this moment as embodied awareness. And what is it like to become aware, to wake up, to remember sati, mindfulness, remembering? What is it like when sati taps you on the shoulder, so gently, smiling and saying, the breath, the body, this moment, wake up. And coming back and realigning body, heart, and mind. During the course of this sitting, I invite you to investigate, to notice, are there particular habits of mind that pull you away? What are those habits? Perhaps shining a light on them, really naming them to yourself. Oh, there's that drama happening again. How does that feel in the body? How does this drama play out in the body-mind? And so just turning toward the experience and bringing a quality with kindness, with compassion, but really curiosity also. What is that I get lost in? That I get so intoxicated by? Maybe it's fantasy. Maybe it's pleasant fantasies. Maybe it's playing music in my mind, singing silently. Maybe it's planning for the future. We can have habits of mind that are intoxicating, that are pleasant, and we can also be habitually addicted to painful replaying of events or of projections in the future. So framing these compulsive habits of mind in this inquiry into addiction. And when we notice that the mind is caught up in some habitual pattern, we can notice what that feels like in the body. We can also notice how it feels when we stop. When we let go. Even if it's only for a moment, even if it's only for that moment of recognizing. We might notice that there's a quality of clarity. We might notice that there's something underneath, something that's driving the mind into restlessness, into patterns of thought, fantasy, and so on. Maybe there's anxiety or fear or sadness underneath. This is all part of our exploration in meditation. It's not that meditation should be a particularly calm state, but meditation is an opportunity to become aware of the mind, to befriend our mind, to become intimate with the heart and the mind and the body. Whatever's unfolding in this moment is what our life is in this moment. It's not that it should be something else. Opening with our attention, our caring heart, our willingness to accept what is clarity. That's clarity. And the addictive habits of the mind take us away from that. As we approach the end of the formal meditation practice, let's gather into our circle, our field of practice, the Sangha, all those who need support, need encouragement, all those who are suffering violence, especially the people in this moment of Mariupol and Ukraine and all the Ukrainian people, and all of the people who are in places where there's violence, where there's flooding, where there's drought, where there's sickness, people who are experiencing very tenuous life, very uncertain quality of life. Bringing compassion and care, holding them with love, wishing well to all beings. And perhaps taking a moment to bring into your awareness those who you feel close to, you feel touched by, in whatever way, whether it's a strong bond of love, friendship, caring and compassion for suffering, or the joy of their thriving. Bringing these into our shared circle silently. And sharing the blessings of our practice. May our lives and our practice serve and support the happiness, well-being, and liberation of all beings. So please take a moment to release your posture. So really just half a minute to release, to stand up if you like. Reflecting today on the fifth precept, not taking intoxicants which cause heedlessness. And so very often when we talk about this, we're talking about substances, addictive substances, or substances that we form addictions around. And people have different ways of practicing with this. So some people will, you know, and different teachers teach this in different ways. Some teachers say that you should not have any alcohol or any intoxicating substance like marijuana or anything like that. And other teachers will say that, you know, what is the intention and what is and can you be attentive to the quality of your awareness as you know, if you do have a glass of wine, can you be aware of, you know, the impact that this has on you? And so I think that it's really important that you decide for yourself, what does this mean for you? In the Pali, the early Buddhist iteration of the precepts, it says, I meant to put the folder with my iterations of the precepts. Yeah, in the Pali it says, I undertake the training to refrain from substances that cause heedlessness. So I undertake the training. What does that mean? You know, for you. You know, for me, my own practice, I do have a glass of wine sometimes with dinner, and I do have coffee and you know, other substances like that, which are sometimes considered addictive. I like the way Koshin Paley Ellison talks about what an addictive substance is to him in his book, Wholehearted. So the book is Wholehearted, Slow Down, Help Out, Wake Up, Koshin Paley Ellison. And he says, how I understand what an intoxicant is anything that creates distance between you and your relationships, but also between you and your own experience. It's anything you're using to not be where you are. Anything that you're powerless to resist turning to, and especially anything that you're using to delude yourself into thinking everything is okay when it isn't. So that's an interesting way of thinking about what is an intoxicant. Thank you, Viviana. Intoxicants or, you know, addictions. If we're using intoxicants to the point of addiction, then there's a pattern that has been established that we are turning away from something that is painful or difficult to be with. So, you know, whatever that is, it could be loneliness. It could be a feeling of self-judgment. It could be the feeling of betrayal. It could be deep sadness. It grief. So many things can be so painful that we don't want to live with them. We find it difficult to live with them or to be with them in a particular moment. And so, there are different kinds of substances that we can use that can become addictive, or even that can be misused as a way of turning away from what is difficult to be with. So, what are they for you? What are they for me? It could be food. It could be social media, or television, or shopping, or sex, or working out. So none of these things are in themselves bad. Obviously, food is not bad. We need it. It's how do we use it? How do we get lost? How do we cloud the mind? How do we escape from what is unpleasant? What's our intention in using this substance in doing this activity? In the book that I was talking about, that I have referred to previously in previous weeks, and I'm having a little trouble remembering the name of the author, Diane Aishin Risito, or yeah. So it's and the book is Wake Up to What You Do. And she has a way of talking about addiction, which I find quite interesting. In fact, she uses this framing in all of her discussion of the precepts. She asks, what requirement are you imposing on this moment? So, in other words, how is this moment not acceptable to you? How are you not allowing this moment to be received fully for what it is? Because it's not something that you expect it to be, or you require it to be, or you think it should be. And so, like, how many times do we do this? How many ways do we do this? Do we have these requirements unconsciously that we're imposing on somebody we meet, or something that we do, something that we experience, that we wanted that experience to be this, but it's not this, it's that. And therefore we're disappointed. And therefore we think the experience is not okay. It falls short, or that we fall short, or that this person, they don't show up in the way that we want them to. They're not the lighthearted, bubbly, enjoyable person that helps us to enter into a kind of state that we enjoy being with them. Maybe they're down today. They're feeling kind of sad. And then, so we're disappointed. Can we open to that? Whatever, and without imposing our requirement, can we be curious? Can we be caring? And can we say, hey, there's something going on? There's something, what's, would you like to talk about it? So there was something that this teacher said in her book about addiction. She said, it's the requirement that's the addiction. It's not the substance. Mm-hmm. And that was like an aha for me. Like, wow, it's the requirement. It's like, okay, I mean, everything always has to be orderly, you know, everything has to go the way I planned it, you know, or it's not okay. Or yeah, what is it? What is the requirement? What are the many requirements that we put on our lives? And it's the requirements that cause this sense of, you know, like dukkha. Dukkha has this, there's this image associated with dukkha that is that the axle of a wheel is not properly fitted in the center of the wheel. And so it's always kind of going off. It's off center. So there's this kind of image. So what are the requirements that we're putting on our lives, on the unfolding of each moment, that is making us, you know, feel like everything's off center? It's not flowing for us. We can't be with it with ease, with an unfoldment. So I invite you to explore that in your groups, and also in your practice this week. So we're going to, in a couple of minutes, we're going to shift and we'll go into the second part of our practice, which is our weekly format that we have this hour of meditation and Dharma talk, and then some people might not be able to or wish to stay, and you can sign off in a minute, and then those who remain can be in breakout groups, and we'll have some opening up and discussion about this topic. And I'll give a question in just a moment. I just want to, before you go, I just want to put in a little plug for a course that I'm offering in May. It's beginning May 10th. And there's information on the website. It's called Life, Loss, and Letting Go. And the course is an 8-week course online. It would be a small group limited to 16 people. And the invitation is to those who are experiencing in their lives right now either a serious or progressive illness, or a recent loss, so recent bereavement of somebody that, you know, there's grief that is present and is being, you know, like worked with in your life right now, as something that's very alive for you. So that's an invitation to register if you're interested, or for this group, or if you want more information, you can inquire with True North Insight. You can go to the website, and if you do the drop down menu to, I think it's online programs, and you'll see information. You'll be able to click on a link that leads you to more information. So there's room in it. It's about half full, and so there's there's some places. And so if you're interested, or if you think, or if you know somebody who you think could benefit from this program. And we are, my intention is that we will form a study, practice, and kindness community, that there will be a supportive community to working with teachings and working with some simple rituals, and perhaps some journaling to come to a deeper understanding of what's unfolding in our lives, and relate to it in ways that are freer from suffering. So that's the intention. So thank you for those to those who are signing off. Great to be with you. And oh yeah, one more little announcement. If you want to be a Dharma buddy, if you want to be assigned to a Dharma buddy, I still haven't done it. I've been kind of in the planning mode for this course. So I'm going to do it in the next couple of days. So you can send me, if you haven't yet, you can send me your intention to be on the email list and or be assigned a Dharma buddy. So thanks, friends. Thanks for being here, and those who are leaving, please feel welcome to sign off.